Hi Cancer, I'm Jody with Soul Purpose Tarot. I am in Carmel, Indiana. I am a Libra Sun, Capricorn Rising, Sagittarius Moon, and this is your December 2018 reading. So the first thing that came up was the Page of Swords. So let's see what else is going on with you guys for the month of December. My finger's starting to hurt. I've been shuffling cards so much lately. All right. You are like ready to do battle with somebody. With somebody that you are in a relationship with, about getting some balance. You want balance, but you're out of balance with in your relationship, and you're about ready to say something about it. Okay, what else have we got here? A Knight of Swords. Because somebody's not telling you the truth. So you're about ready to tell some truth. Okay, let's see what we got here. Page of Swords. The Justice card. Temperance in reverse. The Lovers. And the Knight of Swords in reverse. So, all right, like I said, you are about ready to have a conversation with somebody because you're feeling out of balance. You want some balance. It has to do with a romantic relationship, I feel, at this point in time, because you feel like somebody isn't being truthful with you, and you're about ready to get to the bottom of it. So let's see if we can figure out. Let's do some emotion stuff here. What kind of emotions are we dealing with? Why are you feeling out of balance? Okay. You are feeling out of balance because you told your deep, dark side of the story of your life, and that person did not tell their deep, dark side of the story, and they're holding back, and it's making you mad. You felt very vulnerable sharing this, and now the other person... Okay, yes, you're right. Normally, when you share something, the other person shares something back. I did this once upon a time. Yeah, I did that once upon a time. You did that, you shared, and the other person did not, and it's kind of honked you off. You're trying as hard as you can to feel compassionate because it was hard for you to share, but you're only going to put up with this for so long. It's kind of like you can't build a relationship if both of you are not being vulnerable and sharing that kind of stuff with each other. And you're right, you can't. You know, one person can't be the one that spills all their dirt and the other one does not. So you're sort of being patient, but you're not going to be patient for much longer. God, I got a pain in my neck all of a sudden too. So it feels like I feel like I am carrying this relationship and I'm about ready to cut it loose. Let's see what happens. Let's keep going with the emotions. You're feeling very underwhelmed. This is overwhelmed in the reverse position. So right now you're feeling very underwhelmed about the whole thing. It's kind of like, I'm very much questioning whether I'm going to continue with this relationship or not. at this point in time. All right, let's see. What other emotions are we dealing with here? You're not feeling depressed about it. It's kind of, or desperate. Sorry, that says desperate, not depressed. You're not feeling desperate about it. You are just kind of like, facts are facts. Let's say I spent 2 months, 3 months getting to know this person. It's not going anyplace. It doesn't feel like it's going anyplace. Excuse me. And you are about ready to, there's a rope on that, so I feel like you're about ready to cut that person loose. Cut the ties loose because you're not feeling like it's going anywhere at this point in time. Let's see what this says. And you're feeling very safe to do that because you didn't get yourself attached to that person. So, okay. It's just one of those. It's probably not going to work out. And this says hopeful in the reverse. So, okay. So the feeling I'm getting here now is it's kind of like, I've spent 2 or 3 months on this. He's not coming loose with any of his information. And you're feeling a little hopeless because you're kind of like, why do I keep getting myself into this situation? Why do I keep getting myself into situations where the other person isn't willing to divulge their information? If you keep running into someone who isn't willing to divulge their information, it's because they're emotionally not available. And it's good that you figured this out 2 to 3 months down the road and that you're cutting them loose and moving on. The question that you need to ask yourself is, why do you keep getting yourself into relationships or meeting people that are emotionally unavailable and you only get to that like 2 or 3 month mark? Most likely it's because somewhere along the line you are emotionally unavailable also. So you need to like really ask yourself where you are holding yourself back. Sure, you may have shared a lot of your intimate details with somebody, but there's someplace else that you're holding back. Maybe there's some sort of fears that's holding you back. Otherwise, you wouldn't be running into the same people all the time that are safe. That's what I'm getting. So let's see if we can keep going with this and figure out what you're holding back. You're holding back fear of something. You have fears of, obviously, rejection of some kind. Fear of love. That came up in the reverse position. You have a fear of love. So there is a fear in there someplace. A fear of whatever. I feel like I'm being blocked right at the moment and nothing's coming through. A fear of leadership. And that came in the reverse position. A fear of taking the lead of some sort. A fear of taking the lead. A fear of telling somebody how you feel about them. You fear telling someone, I really like you, because that makes you feel vulnerable. And change of status quo, you know, it's like everybody's afraid of change, I think. Everybody's afraid of change when it comes to unwanted change, forced change. The universe can do that sometimes, but I feel like you're wanting to change. You're wanting to find a relationship that will go farther, but I feel like you just you have some sort of a block. We need to figure out what the block is. What is the blockage? Let me do this first, and then I'll do it. Okay, all right. Communication. Okay, there's some sort of communication that needs to happen. And it's not just about sharing some of your past history stuff. I feel like it has more to do with sharing fears, deeper fears of probably core wounds that's coming up that you're afraid. Perhaps you had some sexual trauma when you were younger, and that's something that you need to share with somebody, or the other person has that. I don't know. I'm still trying to kind of get a grip on what it is that's holding the both of you back here. Let's see what the romance angels have to say about this whole situation. It just feels like it's like 2 to 3 months is how you get 2 to 3 months down the road, and then it stalls. 2 to 3 months and then stalls. 2 to 3 months and then stalls. And you're wanting to get past that, but something is holding you back. And it seems to be that you just keep picking emotionally unavailable people. All right, so what does these two cards say? A person has stirred your romantic feelings and forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. So they're telling me that you have some stuff to release and heal from the past. Only I think you don't think you do. You do. Otherwise, you would be getting farther along and you would not be picking the same people. Maybe you're picking people for superficial reasons. You are picking people because you like the way they look. And then you can't get any farther because there's no emotional maturity with that person. They're just as shallow as you are. So maybe that's part of where this issue is coming in at. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. I feel like you're already like moving on from this first person that was in the first road. It's kind of like, yeah, I spent 2 or 3 months with them. It didn't go anywhere. And somebody else has caught your eye. And the same thing's going to happen. It's like you move on very quickly, which is good to some degree. But now you're recognizing this seems to be happening all the time. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. That's what you're thinking. That's what you always think, I feel. You're always like, there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. And so you move on like really, really fast. And it just never gets any deeper. All right. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. That's what you're wanting. It's like, I feel like that's what you want, but it's just not coming. Okay. I'm like, why? What is it you need to learn or heal in order to move forward so you find that romance of a lifetime? Talk to me here. Talk to me here. Show me in the cards what it is they need to heal. What do they need to heal in order to move to a deeper type of relationship? Acceptance. Okay. So that to me says acceptance of your shadow side and acceptance of their shadow side. I feel like that goes along with self-love and unconditional love. And understand, I guess I feel like you're afraid that if they knew the real you, they wouldn't like you. And so you pick people that aren't ever going to go super deep with you. But you have an awareness of this now. You have a new awareness of this. And so you're trying to figure out how you can make some changes and how you can keep this from happening over and over and over again. Get clear. Get clear on where you want to go. Get clear on what kind of relationship you want. I can honestly say when I was younger, I was very, very, very superficial. And if I didn't like the way they looked, I immediately just, you know, dismissed them. And I did a little thing on Craigslist a few years ago where I started doing these questions of the day. Well, it was more like a question of the week because I wanted to get to know people based on their conversation and their character without knowing what they looked like. So it was an effort on my part to get over the superficial part and get like into a deeper level with somebody, and then I would end up meeting them. And most of the guys that I met, there was absolutely no chemistry whatsoever there. But what I learned was how I could sit and talk to somebody whether or not I was attracted to them and just get to know them on a person-to-person level. And maybe that is what you need to do, is take that next step, is quit worrying about what they look like and just learning how to take the connection a little bit deeper, however you go about doing that, and not worrying about the superficial things like how much money they make and what they look like, but be more focused on, are they a good person? Is it somebody you can trust? Is it somebody who is good with their kids, who's good with their parents, and stuff like that? I guess that's what I'm feeling here, is the reasons that you have gone for people in the past has been for superficial reasons. And that's one of the reasons you keep getting kind of caught up at the 2 to 3 mark. Sleep. I don't know why they're saying sleep. Or maybe they're saying don't sleep with them so soon. Get to know them. Guardian. Your guardian angels are with you. All right, let's do one more thing here. What am I doing on time? 18 minutes. I want to do the Ascension cards. For some reason, that's what I'm being pulled to. What kind of spiritual growth, centering on divine light, quiet your ego mind. Okay, that makes total sense to me. Your ego is what attracts you to the good-looking guys or the guys with the money or whatever, is because you feel like you will look better if you have someone who has got lots of money, or if you have someone that drives a nice car, or if you have someone that looks really good on your arm, you will look better because you're not secure in your own self. I don't mean to be so harsh, but this is what's coming out here. And I do feel like I can speak from experience, because this is exactly the way I was when I was in my 30s. And it wasn't until my late 40s when I kind of had to do my own self-evaluation on why I couldn't find anybody. And I had to start like looking at myself instead of blaming everybody else. Personal development. It's all about personal development. All relationships are about personal development. And learning how to manifest what you want. So, okay. So I guess if you want my advice here, just knowing what I know about relationships, I'm trying to think what kind of advice I would give myself when I was in my 30s. The reasons that you want to be with somebody shouldn't be because they're going to make you look better. Fill yourself up first as a whole person, and then you won't be looking for somebody to fill your holes of self-worth, your self-worthlessness. So I guess it all, it all goes back to making sure you are a whole person. I'm hearing codependency too. So probably that is partially the people that you have gone after before is you're dependent on somebody else to fill up those gaps of self-love that are missing. And that's a lifelong process for many of us to get to feel to be a whole person. It does not happen overnight. It is a process. It is something that you have to work on because we all come into this world feeling less than. We all have those core wounds. We all have those abandonment issues, feeling less than. I personally did not experience sexual trauma, but I know many of my friends have experienced sexual trauma, and that creates a whole other mess of issues. So I guess that's what needs to be worked on. If you truly want to get past the 2 to 3 mark on a relationship, you're going to have to figure out what's missing within yourself first, and learn how to do that before you're going to be able to give yourself to somebody who's going to last a lifetime, not just 2 to 3 months. Anyway, I hope you found some value. If you did watch this all the way to the end and it makes sense to you, I would love to hear that. I am open to constructive criticism. Like I said, I have studied relationships I feel like my whole life, because I was always trying to fix myself and trying to feel like there wasn't something wrong with me. I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like I am just fine. I can improve on things, but I don't feel like something is wrong with me anymore like I did for so many years. So if this makes sense, tell me, let me know. Let me know what you think. Anyway, I'll see you guys mid-December. Thanks.